Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to show you guys how to achieve this peachy makeup look. I went ahead and I used the Kylie Jenner's Royal Peach palette. I love the colors in that palette, how pretty and feminine and girly they are. So let's just jump right into the tutorial and I can show you guys how easy this look really is. So first off, we're going to take Makeup Geek's Peach Smoothie and we're going to be dusting this back and forth into our crease just in windshield wiper motions and in circular motions. I went ahead and I already primed and set our eyelids before doing this. Since I do that all the time, I didn't feel like I needed to do it on camera for you guys. So we're just going to be dusting this back and forth into the crease in circular motions, just really buffing it out and blending it out. Then now going into the Royal Peach palette, I believe this color right here is Sandy. It's like a peachy brown kind of soft taupey kind of color, and we're going to be placing this above our crease and then into our lower crease. We're going to be really sloppy with this color because you just want this color to really stand out and really be that first transition color that once you place all the colors on top of it, that still stands out. So now going in with Peachy from the same Royal Peach palette, we're going to take a different brush. I think this is from the Rose Gold collection, but it's literally shaped exactly like the Morphe M441. We're just going to be placing this on the outer lid, on the outer crease, really building it up there, and once it's built up on the outer crease, you're going to go ahead and start blending it inwards. Once that I've gotten the intensity that I want from this color, I'm going to switch back to that other brush that we had the sandy color on, and I'm just going to dust that on the top of our crease just a little bit more just to really redefine that color. So then going back into that Kylie Royal Peach palette, I'm going to take the color Cinnamon right here, which is a darker peachy kind of brown color, and I'm going to switch to her brush that came in this palette. It's really similar to a Sigma E25. I'm going to pack that on the outer part of our lid and then dusting it into the outer part of our crease, kind of in like a V shape for this eye. One thing I did notice about this palette is that the more that you try to build on, the more that it kind of goes away. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense. I just felt like I kept building and it kept kind of going away. It was a little bit of a struggle for me, if that makes any kind of sense. So once we're done doing that and blending all the colors in together very seamlessly, I'm going to take Makeup Geek's Mocha. Sticking with that same Kylie brush, we're just going to pack this onto the outer V, just really trying to deepen up that outer V and kind of deepen up the look. I'm going to sit here and build it up for as much as I can and then try and blending it out so that everything seems very seamless, nothing seems harsh or anything. But like I said before, the more that I blended, the more that I blended away. It was really weird. I don't know if it was just me or the way I set my lids or maybe this brush. I don't know. It was just really weird, but I do like the end product and the end result of the look. So now that we're done building that mocha, we're just going to blend everything together and make sure everything's very seamless. So then jumping back into the Kylie Royal Peach palette, I'm going to take that first color in the palette called Sorbet, which is such a pretty lid color, but you definitely have to sit here and pack on for a while. So you're going to see me here for a while just going back into the palette and just re-dipping and rebuilding up the color just so I get the intensity that I want of this color. I will say out of all the mattes that I played with, this one was pretty pigmented, although I had to pack it on, but it was such a pretty pigmented color. So you just want to continue to pack using a flat shader brush, and once we're done packing on that lid, we're going to go back in with all those brushes that we used and kind of redo those steps once again a little bit quicker just to re-intensify all the colors and just to really make sure that everything's really blended out and very seamless. So once we got everything blended out, here I'm taking a clean shader brush and just blending out those edges so that it doesn't get muddy or anything. I love using a clean shader brush for that. So then once everything is blended out, we're just going to repack on that lid just a little bit more and then go in with some wing liner. I honestly wish that I could do wing liner on camera, guys, but I feel like it's one of the hardest things to do on camera. So of course I'm going to be doing this off camera. And now moving on to prepping our face, I'm gonna prep my face using the Mario Badescu facial spray, Smashbox primer water, and now going in with Cetaphil lotion. I love using the Cetaphil lotion because it ends up being really tacky due to the glycerin, and your makeup lasts and stays all day. So now going in with Maybelline Matte and Poreless and L'Oreal Pro Glow, I'm gonna mix two shades together to reach my exact shade and go go ahead and blend them out. I like using these two foundations because one's super matte and one's a little bit more dewy. So the hybrid of both of them mixed together just gives a really nice, pretty skin-like finish. I know you guys are probably so tired of seeing me apply this full face routine, but what can you do? So honestly, moving on, we're gonna go into this LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toast. Sometimes I like this and sometimes I don't. Honestly, I just am still using it because I still can't figure it out if I like it, love it, hate it, don't know. But I'm using this big buffer brush that we received in last month's Morphe Me brush from their G collection, and I actually really like it for buffing out this concealer. But I like to go back in with the Beauty Blender because I feel like nothing works as good as a Beauty Blender. So we're going to be using this to contour along our cheekbones, forehead, underneath our jawline, and for my nose. I actually really do like using this for a nose contour, but you have to be really careful because things can get really crazy really quick with this. So once I am done blending that out, I'm going to go in with the Beauty Blender and then moving on to underneath my eyes. I'm going to first go in with MAC Cosmetics Bright Future Concealer. I'm using this to kind of color correct underneath my eyes for my dark circles underneath my halos. So I'm going to place this in the inner part of my eye, and I'm not going to blend it out. I'm going to just dab it into the skin and push it into the skin because you don't want it to move too much since you are using this to color correct and hide those dark circles. So blending it out kind of defeats the purpose. Once we're done pushing that into the skin, I'm going to go in with Urban Decay's Naked Concealer, Naked Skin Concealer. I'm going to place this a little bit lower. As you can see right here, I'm going to place this a little bit lower along the bridge of my nose, the forehead, and my chin. And then when I blend it out underneath my eyes, I'm going to dab it in and then blend it upwards. I want the least amount of product underneath my eyes so that way my eyes look very hydrated and it doesn't look really caked up or in my fine lines underneath my eyes. And I also like to place this underneath the contour line, especially when I use that Toast LA Girl Pro Concealer, just because things can get a little bit sloppy. So using that to contour or to clean up underneath the contour, I guess you could say, really does sharpen things up. It makes everything blend in really well together. So once everything's really blended out and everything seems very skin-like and kind of put together, I'm going to jump into this AIRSPUN loose powder. I know I use this all the time, but honestly, this is like my go-to for day-to-day. And then for like date nights and stuff like that, I would use Laura Mercier, the RCMA. But just for everyday usage, this is so cheap, so I just really like to use this one, and it works just as well as the Laura and the RCMA No Color Powder. So I'm going to place this underneath my eyes, my forehead, the bridge of my nose, the chin, underneath my contour line, you know, yada yada yada. I don't like to let it sit for such a long time. I just let it bake for, I would say, like probably 30 seconds or a minute, as long as it takes for me to place this all over my face. Then I go in with this brush right here and I just dust everything away. And as I am dusting it away, I'm also setting the places on my face that I didn't technically set with that powder. I love to use this strategy because it just leaves your face feeling really lightweight. Now going in with Becca Champagne Pop and a Morphe M510, I'm going to place this on the high points of my cheek, my chin, above my brows, and the bridge of my nose and my cupid's bow. And I like to blend this out using circular motions, and that way I drag it a little bit above the apples of my cheeks. So when you look at me straight on, you can see that highlight still showing through, and it's very diffused and kind of natural, but not natural because I did place it a little bit more intense this time. But I like to go over it with a Beauty Blender just to make it really sink into my skin. Now going in with Nars Laguna Bronzer, I'm going to take this and dust this just a little bit on the parts where we ended up using that LA Girl Pro Concealer, just to kind of bring a little bit more color to my face and help everything blend out a little bit more. Then going in with Milani's Luminoso Blush, I'm going to place this on the apples of my cheek, dragging it backwards towards my ears. I am not a huge blush fan, so I kind of like the blush to kind of blend in with the bronzer and just to give me a hint of color. Now going in with this Morphe brush that we received last month, I love this to clean up underneath my contour line. It just picks up the powder so well. So now going in for underneath my eyes, we're going to take the same colors that we put in our crease and we're going to place that underneath. So here I'm going in with Peachy and I'm dusting that back and forth underneath my lash line. We're going to keep everything underneath our lash line super simple, so I'm just going to take this color back and forth, and then I'm going to go in with Kylie's Kai Shadow eyeliner in white. I'm going to take a flat shader brush and just place this on my lower waterline, just to kind of really open up the eyes and make everything seem really awake and really just bright under there. Now going in with Makeup Geek's Mocha. I'm going to take another flat shader brush. I'm just going to line around that white just to really make the white pop out and just really define that white. Once I am done doing that, I'm going to go back in with Peachy and just blend everything out underneath there, and that is it for the underneath the lash line. So then I knew that I wanted to do a really bright inner corner, so I wanted to try this Duchess shadow out, but when I placed it in the inner corner, I don't know if it's different when you spray it with Fix Plus and then you place it on your lid. I just felt like it didn't really pop as much as I wanted to, so I took Becca Champagne Pop and I topped it with that, and then I really liked the way it turned out. I went ahead and I set my face using that Smashbox primer water, curled my lashes, and applied some falsies and fixed these brows because, girl, these brows were on fleek before. They were so bad. So I went ahead and I fixed all of those, and then going in for lips. I don't have like the Dirty Peach lip kit from her, so I kind of wanted to create my own. So what I did was I took Kylie's lip kit in 22 and I placed that on the outer part of my lips, on the bottom and the top, leaving the middle portion open. And once I did that, I went in with her other lip kit, which is a lighter orange, and it's called Pumpkin. And I placed that in the middle of the lips, blending it out over top of that Kylie 22. You could honestly just leave the look like that. I definitely liked the way it turned out, but it wasn't as orangey or peachy as I really wanted. I guess it was definitely orange, but it just wasn't peachy. So what I did was I went ahead and I jumped into the Anastasia lip palette, and I took that color white, the primary white, and I went ahead and I placed it a little bit, like a couple dots on the top and bottom of my lips, and I blended it out. You don't need a lot of that white because it's so intense. So once I blended it out, I got the exact peachy kind of color that I wanted, and I love the way that that lip color turned out. I'm not gonna lie to you guys though, it was definitely a lot harder to blend out because since her lips are liquid matte lipsticks and this is more of like a cream matte, it was definitely hard to blend out. So what I noticed is the lips were a little bit cracking as I was blending it out, so I had to take a little bit of Vaseline and I just topped it on top of that lip brush, and then when I placed the white, it definitely helped everything blend out a lot smoother. So it ended up not being as matte of a lip, it was more of like a satin lip, but that was totally fine with me. I liked the glossy look of it, so I was totally cool with it, but I love the end result and I love the way that it turned out. So then I'm going to apply some mascara and set my face, and that completes this look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you guys love this peachy makeup tutorial, and if you aren't subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that little button down below before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.